Hello, and let's rank. I want to rank all of my 2025 reads. I have never done this, and I need to probably figure out how to do it and how to film on my laptop. I think it's just screen record, hopefully, because I'm about to film all this, and that would be awkward if it wasn't. I will be ranking all 50, which is not a crazy number, but all 50 of my 2025 reads on, just the basis if they were great or trash, basically. It'll be a fun way to categorize them and quickly, because sometimes I feel like I don't really know how I feel after a book, but now that I've had time to think about it for a while, I've sat with all of these books. It's already the first month of the new year, so I think I can just quickly be like, this is a great book or this is trash. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, and yeah, join me. I cut out while I was writing my little things, my little titles. So I will say top S tier, what it would usually be S tier is hold on, these got switched around. Okay, life-changing, would recommend. A book that surprised me, maybe by how good it was or if I liked it. Disappointed / forgettable. Sorry, I know it's not the easiest to see, whatever. And then trash. Sorry, just not good ones. I wish this was in. I'm gonna do it in the same order that I just did it in because I don't know, just because whatever. First one, trash. Oh, what a way to start. Sorry for moving the thing so much, but yeah, unfortunately, this is by an author that a lot of people like. It's T. Kingfisher or something. Oh, I forgot exactly. I'll try to put it somewhere. But a lot of people love this author, and I want to love them too. And I feel like the books that they write, I would love, but I just don't. I don't know what it is. Funny enough, my boyfriend got a notification from Goodreads, which goodness, he has all my notifications on. But after I reviewed this book, and it was Kylie thinks the author was dumb and stupid, and this book was it was really egregious and silly. But I'll try to put it here if I still have it. I don't know. I did not like the main character. I did not like the narrator. I feel like she did kind of annoy me a little bit. And then I feel like I really liked the book in the beginning and the way the aspects of it. It's a horror book, by the way, and the full core aspects of it. And then the end part just kind of ruined it all for me and really lost me. I think because it kind of felt a little alien-esque, which I don't think it was. I honestly don't know what was going on. I have no idea. It was really confusing for me. That's probably an unpopular opinion, and I'm really sorry. But anyways, okay, next one. Sorry, I'm moving down because I want to start with the ones I already did. But this was forgettable. Behind Closed Doors. This is a thriller, and I did just have to double check even what this was about. So that's kind of why I put in forgettable. I will say though, I feel like thrillers just all have a very generic names. They all sound pretty similar. So I think that's part of it. But in that same sense, this just did not totally stand out to me. I did really like the ending and the crazy twist ending that all thrillers have, pretty much. But it just, I don't know. It didn't leave an impression, I guess. It kind of did. I don't know. I think I would also recommend this for people who love thrillers and are looking for another one. But it's not a standout one that I'm even if you didn't like thrillers, I would recommend to you. You know what I mean? Okay, moving on. Okay, who put this one on here? Who did that? What is that? Wait. Weird. Just kidding. It was me. Yeah, I'm not ashamed. Yeah. I read a mafia romance. What about it? This is my channel. What about it? Anyways, yeah. I will say it surprised me that I liked it. I won't say it was amazing. I won't say that it was crazy, amazing, great writing or great plot even. Did I enjoy it? Yeah. That's all there is to be said. Anyways, The Chain. Okay, I would say I liked / would recommend. This had a very interesting premise. It was about basically this woman's child gets kidnapped, and to get her child back, she would have to kidnap another person's child and hold them for ransom, thus creating a chain effect of parents who have to save their child this way, which was really an interesting concept, and I really wanted to see how this worked, one, and two, why they were why this was even a thing, how it started, and I did get those answers, and they were interesting. I don't know. I will say again, this is probably not most favorite book I've ever read, but it was interesting, and I feel I would recommend this to people who enjoy thrillers and stuff. And it had a lot of action towards the end too, which was fun. Some of it also did surprise me, but not because I liked it. It was just crazy. But yeah, that's that one. Okay, Slewfoot. Okay, liked / would recommend, but I feel like a lot of people will say that this was life changing or one of their best favorites. But I did really like it. I thought it was really good. I read it around October, so that was great timing. I don't know why. I think I had a lot of expectations for it going into it because I'd heard so much about it, and maybe they weren't, not that they weren't fully met, they were just different. I think I wanted a little more like action and like magic in the magic part. I mean, it was definitely throughout, but it really came in towards the end, I feel like. But I did really like it, and I feel like this is like an interesting, I don't read a lot of like historical witch books really, I feel like. Like I feel like I like a really like modern, either like a totally fantastical take or like a modern, like what is it called? Urban fantasy kind of thing almost. But I really liked this set. The setting was really cool, like in this Puritan village. It wasn't really cool actually. They were all flops, but I did really love our main character, and yeah, I would recommend. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm like really not good at doing a good job. Let me wait, I can just move them up here. Guys, so sorry. Was that the last one? Okay, yeah. All right, no more going down there. Okay, next one is Funny Story, which I also liked. This is an Emily Henry book. I think I'm also in the minority in saying that while I do like Emily Henry, she's not like an immediate buy or read for me. So this is actually only my second Emily Henry. I read this in Beach Read, and I don't know which one I liked better. I think this felt definitely more like a fluffier romance than Beach Read did. Obviously, it was still like a nice, cute romance, but it had like the heavier themes. But I really like this one. Again, perfect summer, light, fluffy, fun read. And yeah, was that the only one who was imagining Dylan O'Brien as the main character? Or do I just want to insert him into all MMT characters? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I like that one. Anyways, Prisoner's Throne. This is a disappointment. Sorry. But this was the not spin-off. I don't know if that's what they're called, but kind of the spin-off series from the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. And this is about, I don't even remember the name, Jude's like little brother who's like gonna be Prince. And this girl, I forgot her name. Yeah, forgettable and disappointing. Sorry. I don't want to say that. I did kind of like it, but it just, again, it was disappointing. I felt lacking of all the action, intrigue, romance of the Cruel Prince series. And while I do really love being in this world, like I love how Holly Black does her world building, the characters, the fantasy elements, I felt bored. I just was kind of bored. I don't know. Sorry. Love you, Holly Black. I'll still read other stuff, but I don't know. Behind the Net. Would recommend. Fluffy hockey romance. Don't have much else to say. Yeah, moving on. Okay. Yay! We have our first life-changing book of the year, which might be a surprising one. I don't know. This is House of Hollow. I loved this book. I thought this book was so good and also surprising. If it wasn't in the life-changing category, I would have been in the surprising one because I just went into it not really expecting anything. I think I just picked it up, read the back, whatever. And it was so good. It was, I think everything about it I loved and was just so well. It was like this folk horror about three sisters who vanished when they were younger for, I don't know how long, maybe it was like a month or a few weeks, like vanished for a significant amount of time. And then they all came back, but they all came back different. And I love a plot like that. I love a changeling. I love it like disappearance and then come back and then things are not, I don't know why. I just love that trope. I think it's because I always wanted, like younger, I always wanted to like go through a magical door and like experience something and then come back changed. Is that just me? I don't know. But yeah, so good. The body horror in this was like perfect for me because it was like, I don't love body horror, but it was like plant body horror. And I was like, wait, that's kind of slay. I don't know. Like, and it was spooky. There was like spooky elements. There was folklore. I loved the sisters. Like I loved their relationship. I love how they all kind of manifested like a different, I don't know, skill or like power almost. I love this book. I try to get everyone to read this. This feels like a foggy, wet spring day where everything is really green, but the sky is really gray. Do you know what I mean? But there's like flowers on the ground and there's moss. Anyways. Okay. Another great one. Episode 13. I kind of want to put this in life changing. I kind of want to put in like would recommend. I think I will put in life changing just because there's not that many in there right now and I feel like I need to add. I did really like this. This was really cool. I feel like, okay, this was a found footage book, obviously, about this team of ghost hunters who are like filming this show and they don't really think much of this like new season, but they're gonna go investigate this house. And then shit goes down. And I can also put this in surprise me, honestly, because I here's the thing, love horror, obviously, a lot of these are horror. I don't love horror found footage films. I don't really like those types of movies. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of the shaky cam situation. I don't know. But this was great. I really liked this. I thought the horror was so cool. Like, it was really like kind of freaky. And then as the story progressed and they like, I don't want to say too much, but as they like explored the house more, I guess, I was like, this is really freaky. And I also read it in, like, I listened to it on audiobook, and I highly recommend, because I believe it might have been a full cast. If not, it was like a very immersive cast. And like, I think they had some of the like extra noises and stuff. Highly would recommend. And I think that's why it's life changing. I think a good audiobook of a book makes all the difference. Like, if it's really a standout and they have like that full cast with the extra audio, the book that might have been like, okay, I liked it and it was fun, you know, it goes up a level. So really liked that. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna try to rapid fire a few of these just because my little ring light keeps dying and I want to make sure I have a good light. Stolen Air, that's like the first in this Prisoner of Throne series, and it was still disappointing and just kind of forgettable. Okay, The Village surprised me, actually. This was an interesting one. Oh, and another kind of found footagey one, almost, not exactly. Again, I just didn't have any expectations, and I liked it more than I did, or more than I thought I would, I mean. And it's about this group of people who are filming like a documentary for this show, they're filming a documentary, and they go to this village that was like seemingly abandoned, and trying to kind of figure out what happened there. They also have some connections, maybe. This is really good. It does also have kind of that found footage like vibe to it that I liked in episode 13. So yeah, I think that one surprised me. Next one. The Exorcist house. This was another, I would say, disappointment, but I'm putting it in trash. Yeah, I hated this one. I think I gave it a 1 star. I might give it less if I could, but I feel like this is another one that a lot of people liked. I don't know what's going on. To me, this was very much a book that was written by a man, and I don't know how to explain that, and that might sound, I don't know, not good. It just, do you know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes you can tell with a voice that it's like man derogatory. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a very shallow narrative, if that makes sense. It was spooky, I will say. There was like some elements that were really spooky. The like well in the basement was a pretty spooky concept. I liked that. Definitely gave Exorcist vibes. I will say the other thing that probably didn't help is that I don't love Exorcist horror. Like, I don't love exorcisms in horror. I don't like possession horror that much. I mean, I kind of do. I don't know. So I guess that's on me, but I hated that one. I really hated it. Anyways, Gathering Dark. I will say liked / would recommend. This is an anthology of horror short stories that are kind of like folk horror, I think. And it's all folk horror. I really like that one. This one, it kind of gives the vibe of like telling scary stories around a campfire, a little bit reminiscent of like a slightly more grown version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I think a lot of the stories were really good. Specifically, the first one kind of got me, honestly. That one spooked me out. I would highly recommend that one. Okay, next, Clown in Cornfield. I'm gonna say surprised me. I actually really liked this one. Look how similar, like Exorcist House and Clown in Cornfield. Like, look at all that red. But was surprised by how much I like this. It's a YA horror, which that's not the surprising part. The surprising part is that I feel like a lot of people don't love this one, and that it is like just very much like a teen slasher. But I really liked it in terms of, one, the slasher part was really good. I mean, they were really not holding back on these kills. It was kind of crazy at times, actually. And you know what? I appreciate that. Don't hold back with the bloodbath. Just, it's horror. If it's a slasher, people gotta die. I don't know. But I liked that. I liked the clown element. I loved the setting in a cornfield. Are you joking? Where else would clowns be? In a cornfield. Duh. The only thing I didn't really love about this is the motive for like this like massacre was silly. It was really silly, I will say. It was just giving a very like this is a book that is definitely going to be of its time. Like, you know how like if it mentions certain like TikTok, whatever, YouTube, like, that was like in a certain era. This is giving that, and that's all I'll say. It was just very okay, whatever. This is such a hard one. Beneath the Stairs, because this one is like, I feel like I keep forgetting what it is. I'll say I liked and would recommend. It is kind of forgettable, but I did really like it at the time. I'm gonna actually maybe say forgettable, just because I honestly am trying to recall the plot right now and I can't. So I did really like it at the time. Thriller about a haunted house, which I do love a haunted house thriller or whatever. And there were elements I really liked. There was like some like flashbacks to when the house wasn't haunted and this family was living in it. I literally can't even tell you that much because I don't fully remember. I did like it, but I think the fact that I can't remember much about it says a lot. So, okay, next is gonna be Summer Sons. I'm gonna say disappointed me. Ooh, I feel bad. Oh, a lot in the disappointment category. I guess I'm hard to please. I did, again, there's elements of this that I liked. I loved the folk horror elements. I loved the summer setting. I love like a very atmospheric read. And so when there's a lot of description of like the sweatiness and the like heat and like stuff like that for a summer book. I love that. But it was so slow. It was really slow. I feel like not a lot happened. And it was also kind of forgettable at the same time. I wanted to really like this one. And it just didn't hit that mark for me. Okay, next, Phantasma. This one surprised me. And more red. Wow, the theme of the year, I guess, was a red cover. But I didn't know. I didn't think I was gonna like this because I think it might be a YA fantasy, like romance even. And sometimes those just come off a little cheesy, a little silly. But I really liked this one. I loved the setting. They're like stuck in this. So the main character has to join a competition, which I do love a competition book. She joins like basically this competition where she has to stay in this manor and like complete these levels for like these like I think each level like a devil gives them some kind of clue and they're related to like the 7 deadly sins, I think. Which I really like that element incorporated into books too, like the 7 deadly sins. Love the movie Seven. So I will say there was definitely some cheesy parts, obviously. And was it the best book ever? No, but I was honestly pleasantly surprised with it. I really liked the romance and it was a really fun read. So that's why it's in that category. Oh gosh. Okay. This one is really hard. This is Knock Knock Open Wide. Sorry that I'm really bad at screenshotting these. I literally feel like I cannot put this book in disappointed, even though I was kind of disappointed. So I'm going to put it in recommend because I do think someone would love this. And I think someone would love this. The elements were there. I really wanted to like this one. Like I really feel like I should put in the disappointing one, but I can't. I like literally can't do that just because I feel like so many people that I really like on BookTube like love this book and I don't want to disappoint them. You know, I know they're not watching. Whatever, you get the point. It's just, I've had such high hopes. It's a Irish folklore set in Ireland about this woman, folklore horror, sorry, about this woman who's driving down the road. She sees a dead body or like a body lying in the road. She stops, tries to help, which I guess is like an Irish folklore story that is told a lot. Never stop to help. Call someone. Go to the freaking Denny's on their own, make a call. But, and then she kind of is pulled into this storyline. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to say what's a spoiler, but she basically, something happens to her. And then years later, we're also following her daughter while she's at college. And in both storylines, there's mention of this children's show that keeps getting brought up. And then you kind of begin to understand why and how that plays a part. And it gets really spooky and interesting. I really love that aspect. I really love like a show, like a spooky show or a spooky like kids thing. I feel like kids like shows, you know, dolls, like puppets, all that stuff, like they can be really spooky and I really like that. And I really liked that aspect of the story. What I didn't love was it felt so dragged on. I felt like a lot of it was just her daughter's like storyline of her like meeting this girl at college and then falling in love and like being together and then like all this stuff. And I'm like, that's great. But it just felt like it took a long time to get to the actual like horror meat of it all, like the action of it all. And that I didn't love. So I do think I would recommend to other people who want that like really interesting, unique folk horror. And I did like elements of it. It just felt a little flat. But okay. Far Wilder Magic. Liked it. Not super revolution. I mean, I actually really liked the setting of this. Again, it's like another competition and it's like set. I don't know if it was like a fantastical. No, I think they were like literally in like upstate New York or something, which I really love that because I'm from upstate New York. But I really liked the vibes. I feel like this book was a lot of vibes. I will say that no, it was good. I mean, I liked it, and it was like a competition-based book where it's like a hunt. I think they have to like hunt this thing, and then when you kill it, you get like a wish or you get something. I did like it, but it wasn't like a standout. But it was fun. Yeah. Okay, First Time Caller. This will surprise me because I picked this up kind of on a whim. I just wanted a romance, and then it ended up being so good and so sweet. It's about a guy who's on a radio show for like love and trying to like help you find love, and he's pretty jaded and not super into it anymore. He thinks that love is kind of maybe a sham. And then this woman who's a mechanic, and she is, you know, kind of unlucky in love, I guess, or she wasn't really looking for anything. She has a daughter, and she co-parents with her ex. I don't think they were ever married, but like her ex who's came out as gay, so they're no longer together, but they're still best friends. I loved him. and his partner in the book as well. I thought that was such a cute dynamic, especially with their daughter. And then her daughter calls into the radio show to try to find a date for her mom. And it is so cute. I really liked it. I really liked the radio element of it too. I felt it was like such a 90s, like it's not in the 90s, but such a cute 90s like rom-com vibe. So really liked that one. Next one is The Bell Jar. I will say this one surprised me. I did like it. I don't always read a classic, so I try to branch out every now and then and read a classic. But I like this way more than I thought. I feel like a lot of it was way more relatable than I expected for something that was written, quite a few years ago. The other thing that just surprised me though was some of the racial comments in here, which I was like, oh, okay. Didn't love that. But yeah, I think overall it is still like an interesting book that like the mental health aspect of it can be really relatable, especially to like young women. So I thought that was pretty good. Oh, next one, Lights Out. Oh my god. All right. I have to say this one kind of surprised me. Oops. I did kind of like this one. It is a dark romance. Check trigger warnings if you're gonna read it. If you're a little freak, you're probably gonna like this. I will say the ending, it's like, okay, so it's like a soccer romance, whatever. Let's get past that. But then at the end, they try to introduce this like mafia storyline. Wasn't a fan of that. So I liked it. Didn't love it, but it did surprise me. So, that's all I'll say. Housemaid. I mean, I feel like every thriller reader has read this at this point. It's my year reading it. It's good. I liked it. I would recommend. It's crazy plot twist, crazy ending. And now it's got the movie, unfortunately, with Sydney Sweeney. Sorry to say. So I was talking about the house on the Cerulean Sea. I tried to fix it a little bit, so now hopefully you'll be able to see the books better. But this one was really cute, very sweet. If you like a found family book, this is definitely for you. It is like a very light, cozy fantasy. Yeah, I don't know, it's really sweet. And this one was kind of I don't know, I feel like I don't read that much cozy fantasy, so it was also a nice like switch up from like, how did I say I read like high fantasy, but like I guess more, I don't know, mid-tier fantasy, whatever Quicksilver is I feel like what I usually read. But this was really nice and sweet and cute. It made me realize I definitely have a taste for like a little bit of a cozier, fluffier fantasy read every now and then. Okay, The Fake Out. I'm just gonna add here. I liked it. It was in the same series as Behind the Net. They were good hockey romances. Not much else to say. Sorry. I'm like, I don't know if that's helpful, but next is, oh my gosh. Next is The Lake of Lost Girls. I will say this was just kind of forgettable. Another thriller, and it was just pretty typical. I don't know. It didn't really stand out at all to me, to be honest. Okay, next is Sunrise on the Reaping. Controversial, crazy. I'm gonna say surprised me. I don't know. This one's hard. I liked it. I don't think it's as good as the original books, obviously. I think that is a hard feat. The originals were just so good. I almost want to say surprise me in kind of a negative way. I want to say, okay, I guess that's just disappointed. Girl, okay. But I don't know, I wasn't disappointed in it. I just think I wanted a little bit more from it. I kind of did like seeing some of the characters come back, that were from the main story or from the original story, I guess. And being incorporated into that, will say, like, one of my friends was like, it just feels very fan servicey. So I understand that. And I think that she has a point. I think some of the characters that were brought back or like were like mentioned in this just didn't feel necessary to do that. And I think the actual games part was not that interesting. I don't want to say not that interesting, but it's supposed to be like a crazy, was it not the Porter Quell? But you know, it's supposed to be one of the crazy ones where they do something extra or whatever. So this one was, they doubled the amount of tributes that were going into the arena. And you would just think that would be like a crazy thing and like super exciting and super action packed. But we weren't really even in any of the like drama of the arena because I feel like Haymitch was going down his own path with that. So he was kind of separated from the group. I will say I have been wanting a Haymitch book for a while, so it was nice to get that. Yeah, I liked it. I'm really excited for the movie. I think that'll be good, but yeah, I don't know. Not winning awards for me. Okay. I'm gonna say this also surprised me. I don't think it was life-changing. I don't think it was like one of my favorite books of the year, but I did really like it. And it did surprise me because this horror it's like a little bit of a different setting than I normally read, and I loved the setting. So it's about these hikers who, I think one of them is like a hiking influencer, which is kind of funny, and she's like wants to go and get content at this one mountain or whatever. And so she brings her friends, and like some people are filming, and some of them are there just to hike and just camp, whatever. And they go, and basically just weird stuff starts happening. They're like GPS stopped working, and they basically get stuck in this valley. And ghostly, spooky things are happening. And I really, really liked this one. I thought it was just a really cool to be in a different setting like that. And I feel like some of the tropes, like the like almost like insanity vibe, the sense that some of the characters were basically like seeing things that weren't there, but like all together, like basically the mountain would be there 1 minute and then it wasn't the next, or like they couldn't find it on the map. And I just really love that, like when things get really weird and trippy. So I really like that one. Highly recommend. That's like a fun summer horror read. She's Not Sorry. No, I'm gonna say forgettable. I feel like I read so many thrillers that it's kind of hard to like break out of this category a little bit. Just because I read so many, and it's like, well, you know, what do you have to do to stand out? Kind of. This definitely, it was good. It was fine. Actually, I don't know. It was fine. I don't think I loved it actually. Now that I'm thinking back, it felt a little bit. I think the ending reveal felt far-fetched to me a little bit. I don't know. It just felt like one of those things, like, you know how a lot of, I think, Agatha Christie books, like, people get annoyed because it's this whole mystery and you want to follow along and try to solve it, which I feel like is usually what people want to do for thrillers. And then it turns out that it's kind of this, like, out of left field reveal that you would have never guessed because, like, not all the information was given. It wasn't that exactly, but I don't know, it kind of did get that vibe. I was just like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Not my favorite. So that'll stay there. Oh, we also have like a little purple thing going on. Oh my God, look, with the Sunrise and the Reaping, Wretched Valley, Fake Out, and She's Not Sorry. Ooh, purple and red. That's the themes of the year. This one is The House on Needless Street. I would say I liked and would recommend. This is definitely a weird plot. So I think only specific people would like this. It's such a hard plot to describe, honestly. I almost want to, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Moving on, Throne of Glass. I'm gonna say surprised me actually quite a bit. I feel like I enjoyed this more than A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I feel like a lot of people say. But yeah, this was interesting. It almost had like a spooky, like supernatural element to it that I was not expecting, and I really liked that. Obviously, I love a fantasy, and I really love an assassin. I love an assassin, especially a female assassin. Like, oh, that trope is so good. Definitely a surprise. Okay, next one is. Oh, this one's so cute. This is Craven Manor. I'll say this is, oh my God, I didn't know it did that. Perfect. Surprise me? Well, no, I'll say recommend because okay, this is by Darcy Coates and she writes horror, but I've been reading this series by her called The Whispering Dead, and it's it's literally like cozy horror. Craven Manor, I picked this up thinking it would be more horror, like a little bit more like traditionally horror, and it was definitely more so than the Whispering Dead series, I would say, but it's still like almost still kind of cozy, even though like people like die. I think actually I don't know if anyone dies, but it still had that like cozy vibe to it, but just a little bit more elevated horror, I would say. But it's still, it's kind of, you know what it gives? It gives the Haunted Mansion, right, at Disney. And I think that's really sweet and cute. And I really liked that aspect. And I love that Darcy Coates does that. So, oh, Fantastic Land. Yes, let's throw her in here. Another one. Okay, I loved it. I did really like it. This is about a group of essentially teens and young adults who work at this theme park called Fantastic Land. And one day a hurricane rolls through. They all get stuck in the park because they're working, and authorities think that they're okay because they kind of have like a lockdown procedure for those things. And so they're basically left alone for a long time, like in the aftermath of this hurricane, which is like, it was like a total devastation basically. And then they go totally Lord of the Flies crazy and start to basically create little factions based off the different areas of the park. And yeah, it kind of becomes a bloodbath. I love this one. I loved the setting. I just love a fun, unique setting. And this one was so cool. I mean, it's literally an amusement park. Like, that's so fun. And then the factions things like related to the park was so cool. I loved the horror aspect. There's like one faction that's supposed to be like really scary. I was gonna say something that was kind of a spoiler. I just love the idea for this, really. And I feel like the execution came out really good too. It was told in like interview style. So I also listened to this on audiobook, which was, again, definitely recommend. It was like each chapter was a different interview from someone at the park. And a lot of the story centered around one kid who I think we get an interview from him at the end, but he was kind of like the leader of the main like faction, and he was like really violent, whatever. And it was just so cool. Very cool. I will say the only thing that kind of threw me off a little bit is like I had to suspend my disbelief a little bit in how quickly these like young adults like submitted to violence. Like, it was like drop of a hat, people were killing others, and I'm like, that just doesn't feel realistic. But for the sake of the plot, I'll let it slide. Okay, another banger right after the other one. This is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and this is definitely one of, actually, I think this is my favorite book from the year. Rachel Gillig, girl, you have done it again. You are just a master at atmosphere, a master at eerie, spooky settings and vibes. This was so good. It follows our main character, Sybil, and she is a diviner, which basically, like, she lives in this, separated from the town, and she lives with other diviners, like other girls, and they're almost seen as like religious figures, like almost like priestesses or like, not nuns, but, and they basically, people will come to them to divine, and what they have to do is they literally like drown, and then they have these like dreams and visions, and that's how they divine. And they all wear these little like eye coverings always, which is just such an interesting, cool like costume concept. A lot of this is so good. So Sybil lives with these other diviners. I believe there's 8, but don't quote me on that. And they've become very close. They've grown up together. They like eat, live, work together, and they don't go to the village. They're not supposed to. They go a few times, but they basically have no outside contact with anyone unless they're divining for them. So they're really close. And then after the king visits, the diviners start going missing one by one until Sybil is the last one left, and she leaves to go figure out where her friends went. It is so good. Just please read it. Rachel Gillig, she's so amazing. She also did One Dark Window, another one of my favorite series, and she's just, I'm really excited. The next one comes out this year in this duology, and the ending of this one killed me, so I am so ready for the next one. A Curious Beginning. Honestly, I liked, would recommend. I feel like I did really like this. I love like for some reason, like a historical mystery fantasy, or not mystery romance. I mean, I don't know why I have such a specific taste, but I really liked Stalking Back Jack the Ripper, and I feel like this has a very similar vibe, like historical romance and also a mystery. I really liked that aspect about it. And I did like the mystery. I do wish it was like a little bit more like spooky. I think that's what I want. A little bit more scary than just like a mystery. But that's a personal thing. I think it's really fun. I think it's really cute, and I did really like it. And I think there's literally like 12 or 13 books out for this right now, and I would definitely pick up the next one. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I will say, I'm gonna say surprise me. This, oh my god, not the Heated Rivalry. Hey, Heated Rivalry ad right in the middle of the screen. Okay. Sorry, guys. Ugh, Heated Rivalry ad. Okay, we'll just leave it. Enjoy that, I guess. I'll say this surprised me because it is a young adult horror, which I don't know why I keep saying that, actually. I think young adult horror is actually really good, and probably one of the better genres to read young adult in when you're not a young adult anymore, because they do a really good job. But it was a little bit more violent, I think, than I thought it was going to be for a young adult book. It really, I was like, damn. Okay, some of the kills were crazy. I will say I think the ending was like a little bit cheesy, but this is really fun, really good summer slasher. I would recommend. Let me apologize. Okay, this is the book that reminds me. This is also by Darcy Coates. I mix up The Caro Hunt and The Craven Manor. This is the book that reminds me of the like haunted ride at Disney, the Haunted Mansion ride, because this is about like a crew of people who go into a haunted mansion to like investigate. Craven Manor is about somebody who moves into the home to be like, or moves into like the what's called like guest house to be a caretaker for like a dilapidated manor or mansion. And that, but both of them, same vibe, where they were so cozy and cute, but they were still horror. Like I really love her genre of writing. Okay, Christmas Fling. Oh, I will say this one surprised me. I read this one after I tried to read two other romances, like hockey romances. This is not a hockey romance, but I wanted like a winter kind of Christmas romance, whatever. And those were both flops. So I picked this up after those and I was like, oh God, please, anything. And this was really cute. I picked it up mostly because it is set in Scotland. And I really liked that. But it was really cute. It was sweet. There was a few things that I didn't love about it, but they really weren't like standout. Like it was overall like a really cute, fun Christmas read. Heartless Hunter. Okay, I'm going to say this one. Oh my God, I have a few of the Whispering Dead books on here actually. I'm going to say Heartless Hunter I liked and would recommend. I thought it was good. I liked the plot of it. Like I liked it's about this girl who is a witch in a city on an island, technically, I think, that hates witches and wants them all dead. And she basically starts fake dating a witch hunter to avoid being caught, because not only is she a witch, but she is smuggling other witches who are caught out of the island and saving them from the other witch hunters. So they start fake dating, and I liked the plot. I liked that. Here's what I'll say. Rebel Witch, which is the second book in this duology, so the last book, really, I loved it. I don't know what, I loved the romance between these two. In the first one, I was like, almost like skeptical to like how that would even work. I'm like, she's a witch, you're a witch hunter. Can it be any more obvious? You know, like I was like, this like doesn't, I don't know. I mean, obviously there was still like, they were still kind of cute and there was an attraction and like, they definitely set it up like that. But I was like, I don't know. Second one? Yeah. I got it. I understood the vision. I was there. I did really like this one. So, and it surprised me how much I liked it, to be honest. And I really do love this series, but it's not, because they're kind of so cozy, cute, whatever. They're not like so crazy that I'm like, oh my God, I need to read the next one. They're more just like sweet and fun and atmospheric. And so for that, I really like them and I would recommend, but they're not like I don't think I can put them in the life-changing category, but I do really like them. So, okay. Head Full of Ghost. I will put in liked/recommended. Guys, look, I only have 2 in trash. I guess I thought I was a hater, but I guess I'm not actually. I'm actually a lover and I'm very fair. But like, look how big the middle sections are. I feel like that's a good thing. But anyways, Head Full of Ghosts. This was another kind of like documentary, like style, well not style, but like themed book where it was very much based off The Exorcism, I believe. It was about this girl who started acting possessed, and then her family like calls in this TV show that they think is going to help her, you know, exercise her, help her, whatever. But they're really just kind of filming for content, whatever. And it was pretty good. Again, like I feel like I'm not a huge fan of like Exorcist style books, although I liked this one a lot better than The Exorcist House. So, but this one was well done. I liked the style. Again, I guess I love like a more found footage vibe in a book than in a movie. But it was definitely had some spooky parts that I really liked. I liked the characters. I felt like they felt like a real family. The ending kind of got me. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah, I actually really like that one. I might even put it in the surprise category because I think it did surprise me, but would recommend as well. Okay, Cackle will also go. That surprised me. Is this a silly category? I don't know. That I'm whatever. It's too late now. Where was that? But Cackle was good. I think it more so. I did really like it. I would say for this one, the thing that surprised me more was what it was about. I was definitely expecting a more, I don't want to say traditionally witchy. I don't know what traditional witchy would even be, but this was like modern day woman being witchy, but also being really like, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop with this book and for like something crazy to happen, and it never really did. But I still really liked it. I don't know. I think I really liked the friendship between the two women in this. I liked that it was kind of like a woman coming of age, like book where, you know, she breaks up with her, or her boyfriend breaks up with her. She moves out of New York. She moves upstate, starts teaching in this small town, and meets a witch, and they become best friends. And the witch is like, girl, F your man, girl. Like, you don't need him. Like, you have the power. Like, you make your life what it is. And I don't know. It was actually really sweet, and I really liked that. And I feel like I don't always love stories like that. Sometimes I think they can come off kind of cheesy, but they're needed, I think. But this was really cute and really sweet, and I really like that. I think I would pick up something else by this author. All right, we're getting down to the final 2. Come Home, Katie. I'm gonna say this is forgettable. This kind of gives the vibe of the Whispering Dead series, the series. in the sense that it's kind of like a cozier mystery, sort of. I don't know, maybe cozy is not the right word in the sense. It's more like just like small town. It feels like an episode of The Ghost Whisperer. And I liked it at the time. It just is not a standout. And the final one, Midnight in Everwood. I'm going to say disappointing. I don't know, maybe that's too harsh. I think I would still recommend it, and I liked it. I think I gave this like 3 stars. I just think the ending is what disappointed me. It just, I don't know. I think it was a personal thing. I don't like when characters like get this like amazing magical experience in another world. Like they enter through another door and they go into a magical world. This is a Nutcracker retelling where the girl enters like the Nutcracker realm, basically. And then they go back to their ordinary life. I just don't stand behind that decision, and for that, I feel like that's a little bit disappointing. I think actually I could probably put it in the liked and recommended because I did really love the fantastical elements, and I really loved the winter vibe and the ballet vibe. I love a Nutcracker retelling, and there were a lot of aspects I liked, but I think in the end I was just like, well, okay. This is my final 2025 breakdown of my ranking of all the books I read, which I do feel like this is a pretty good ratio. Like, I think I could have had a few more like favorites and life changing. Seeing that I only had 4 is kind of funny. But I mean, I think it's good to be selective, to be honest. And then the middle sections, which are basically just books that I enjoyed and liked, would recommend, are the biggest sections. So I think that's a really good indicator of the year. And then the trash ones, only 2. Okay, I'm a reformed hater. Love that. And then the disappointed and forgettable, yeah, like that's not that bad. Like I feel like this is a really good layout of the year, and I hope next year similar, but I do hope I have some more like life-changing ones and really good ones. I think I will. So I hope you enjoyed watching me rank all of my 2025 reads, and let me know what your favorite book was from the year. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.